Testing.
Buenos dias. Okay. Hello, my name is Paige, not Paige, and this is Ralphie. You know why I call him Ralphie? Cause he shot his eye out.
You'll shoot your eye out!
Look at him. He's so cute. He's so cute. He's so beautiful. I love you. I love you so much. Okay, so here is a list of guy characters from Stranger Things that you can crush on. Also, for more reasons, I will not be talking about to any of the kids. Why? Because I'm too old for that. Doesn't matter how old the actors are. The characters are. They're freshmen in high school. Hopper. Jim Hopper. One of my favorites. Probably my favorite. I cannot crush on him because I kind of look at him like a TV dad. Like he's a dad to me. But the girlies seem to like him, so, and rightfully so. So, there you go. Enzo. He's hot. You can call me American any day. Bob. Shut up. Shut up! It's just in the way he cares. Like, he tried his very best to be there for Joyce, even though he didn't know the full, complete situation. He tried his best to help Will overcome his anxieties, and he gave Jonathan his video camera like that. And if it weren't for him, season 2, if it weren't for him, Mike, Will, Joyce, Hopper, the doctor, I forgot his name, would have all been clapped, and probably the rest of Hawkins. So Bob Newby for sure. Neighborhood hero. Thank you. And Steve the Hare Harrington. Big Mama himself. He went from a-hole to lovable Mother Duck. Or is it Mother Goose? I do not appreciate him making moves on Nancy that's disrespectful to Jonathan. But everything else, nicely done. Here's a list of guy characters not to crush on from Stranger Things. I mean, you'd think it would be self-explanatory considering context, context clues, but I guess not. So here we are. What I am here to say today about those characters is why? Why? Why are people bending over backwards for these vile characters? Why are people getting into screaming matches on the internet defending the bad guys? 'Cause that's what they were. Why in some of these people's eyes do they deserve respect and human decency? Well, I'm gonna try to find an answer today, but I might not. I might not. Or maybe I have it for you. I don't know. First up, Billy Hargrove. Alright. So, Billy came in season 2, lasted through to season 3, right before he faced the big bad and died. I mean, stop, I'm not laughing. Billy. He's portrayed by Dockeray Montgomery. I hope I pronounced that name right. Who is, yes, he's a handsome gentleman. I can admit it. He's a handsome gentleman. All those people crushing on him can admit that he's a handsome gentleman. His character, however, isn't. And I thought we all knew that, but I guess we don't. So the thing about Billy is, he's a D-bag. He's a
redacted.
Pussy. He is an abuser. He is a racist. And when you look at context clues and you read into the subtext, because you know writers, they like to put in subtext, They love a good subtext, and they love it when people pick up on it. It is very evident what they meant when they wrote certain lines, when they shot certain scenes a certain way. It's very clear. Now, sometimes with subtext, people can misread it. Sometimes people can pull things out of thin air and be like, subtext. It's not always subtext, but there is subtext here with Billy's character. Yeah, in the end, he did say sorry. In the end, he said sorry. That was the last thing he said before he died. He said, "I'm sorry" to Max. That doesn't make up for everything. That's like someone, because she's been with him since she was a tot, since she was in elementary school. That tiny little Max body, that was since she was a little girl in elementary. How old? Don't know. But they both weren't at the size that we saw them at today. That was a little hair.
Billy, come over here. I want you to meet someone. This is your new sister. Her name's Maxine.
Max.
He emotionally abused Maxine and probably put hands on her sometimes. The way he grabbed her hand that one time. Yeah. No.
What would I ever do without
Hey!
you?
This is serious shit, okay? I'm older than you.
And that's all throughout season 2, because at the end of season 2, after he gets told off by Max,
You just a bitchy bitch. You a bitch McBitcherson. You a bitch McBitch. I go to McDonald's and get a McBitch because you a bitch. Bitch.
he is a scared puppy. And yeah, he lays low on bad guy stuff. He lays low because he ends up becoming one of the flayed. But at the end of the day, that's still Billy. He hadn't said sorry yet. He was just looking at her from across the way like, can't mess with her, and left her friends alone. And when we say friends, he left Lucas alone. Throughout the whole show, there's clues here and there for you to piece together the story. There's clues within that subtext about who these characters are. And in that subtext, they're showing us no one has to say the N-word to be racist. In Dr. Montgomery, I read his interview, or like the question he was asked. He was like, "Is Billy racist?" He's like, "I don't think he's inherently racist. He didn't think he was really racist. Good thing he's not the writer." Now, did Duffer Brothers? They said that Duffer Brothers confirmed it. I'll put it up on the screen here if they did, but I haven't been able to find it. As a black girl who is not straight, I'm going to be able to pick up on subtext because I look at the world through a wider lens than other people do. Like how certain people with other things in their life that puts them at a disadvantage, because like me being a woman puts me at a disadvantage, me being not straight puts me at a disadvantage, me being black puts me at a disadvantage, and me being perceived as dark skinned to some people puts me at a disadvantage, and me having this hair puts me at a disadvantage. So like, you would understand, like, people, like how if you're a girl, you're sitting up with your brother watching Stranger Things or watching any show, and there's subtext about misogyny, and you pick up on it, and you're explaining it to your brother, and your brother's like, "I don't see it. I don't know what you're talking about. That character isn't misogynistic. You're a fool. I don't know what you're talking about. You're just trying to throw that word around." Imagine how hurt you would feel. Right. Or annoyed. Because that's what we all are, annoyed. Because we sat here, we saw it, we picked up on the subtext. He said the line, apparently he was supposed to say some gross words, some very distasteful word about Lucas. He was apparently supposed to say that because that's what Montgomery said in that interview. He said that. You don't think he's racist? Anyway, it's safe to assume that he meant some type of slur, whether it was the N-word, or porch monkey, or spooks, or coon, or raccoon. Whether it wasn't, like, you don't need to hear the slur to know that there's racist subtext here.
Why was he talking to you?
Just about a stupid class assignment.
Then why are you so upset?
I'm not.
He causing you trouble?
Why do you care?
Because, Max, you're a piece of shit, but we're family now, whether we like it or not, meaning I'm stuck looking out for you.
What would I ever do without
Hey!
you?
This is serious shit, okay? I'm older than you, and something you learn is that there are certain type of people in this world that you stay away from. And that kid, Max, that kid is one of them. You stay away from him, you hear me? Stay away.
That's what's hidden within the subtext of who Billy's character is. He's racist. When he went into that house, pushed Steve out the way, went into that house, who did he go directly for?
Well. Lucas Sinclair, what a surprise. I thought I told you to stay away from him, Max.
Billy, go away.
You disobeyed me. And you know what happens when you disobey me.
Billy.
I break things. Since Maxine won't listen to me, maybe you will. Stay away from her. Stay away from her.
Lucas. He didn't go for Mike. He didn't go for Dustin. He didn't even go for Max. He went for Lucas. And you don't see something wrong with that? No, it's not protective. Big brother, it's not like, oh, don't want a boy hurting my sister's feelings. Because we already see that he hardly cares for Max. The way he abuses her, the way his dynamic with Max is not overprotective big brother. That's not what it's giving at all. It's giving, I'm making your life a living hell because my life has been a living hell. And I get that. I get y'all want to be like, oh, but he went through all that stuff. No. I was bullied. One point in my life. I've been called multiple slurs throughout the book. I don't assault people just because I've been called a few names, just because I've been tossed into a bathroom stall. I don't do that. No. Because I'm a person with sense, I'm a person with human decency, and that's what Billy lacked towards Lucas. That's what he lacked towards Max. Do you not see that? Read a few books. If you don't, you can live in your la la land, but that's all I gotta say about Billy. Yeah, he had that 3-second redemption arc where he was like, I'm gonna save Elle, I'm gonna say sorry to Max. Okay. Bye. Moving on next. Jason. No one is really crushing on Jason. I haven't seen that. I hope that's not happening. I haven't seen that, but I have seen people defending him and people trying to start discourse about whether or not he's racist or whether or not there was racist intent in that, or racist subtext within that scene with Lucas, in which there was a layer of that. Whether or not the Duffer Brothers meant that, they probably did, because it seems like Lucas is the one who always gets the brunt of the boot every season. It's always either Max, Elle, or Lucas. They always get hit. They always get hurt. Oh, and Will. Mike and Dustin are left untouched, really. Lucas has been targeted racially throughout the show since season 1, which y'all probably don't go back and rewatch the seasons. That's probably why we're having these conversations, because y'all only taking what you want to see. Y'all only trying to take the nice parts, the good bits that make certain characters look better, just so you can have an excuse to crush on them, which is like, just crush on the actor. It's fine. Just crush on the actor. I'm a crush on Bob. You crush on Billy. No, thank you. Anyway, Lucas, ever since that scene, it was first episode, they'd already showed, like, we're in Hawkins, Indiana in the 80s. That might even happen today at some white schools. I know I've been talked to a certain way. I've been treated a certain way. I've been told certain things. going to white schools, all right? Racism hasn't gone anywhere. But anyway, we're in the 80s when people are like, it's the 80s, racism happens. Then acknowledge it. Then say that that's what's happening and that these people are bad because you're racist, you're bad. Anyway, Lucas, he was called Midnight by one of the bullies. I think it was Midnight or Dark Knight. Not Dark Knight. Dark Knight, that's Batman. He was called Midnight by one of the bullies getting pushed. Wow, Mike was called Frogface. We get Dustin because that's an ableist comment. They called him Toothless. That is ableist. And he called Lucas Midnight. Mike Frogface. Okay. Moving on, season 2. Got physically assaulted by Billy. Billy taking a child, a middle schooler, a child, shoving him up against the wall. Physically assaulting a child because he's black. Moving on, season 3. I don't think anything happened season 3. Can't recall. Because Billy was being scary somewhere and being flayed. Anyway. Season 4. We have this weird situation with Jason. We're back to Jason. Jason
had a black friend.
Stop. Haven't you heard that sentence before? And I'm not saying Jason's racist. I'm not gonna say Jason's racist. But listen to that sentence. Like, Jason had black friends. And there's white women out here with black husbands. And they're fetishizing their young, their children. They're out here like, oh, they have the great hair, they have pretty eyes. They're just so much better than a fully black person or a fully white person, whatever. Whether you're dating a black person, being friends with a black person does not exempt somebody from racism. No, it does not. I'm not saying every situation is gonna end up like Get Out, but just because you can tolerate us in your orbit, you're not racist. No, honey. But Jason, he ain't say the N-word. No. He cried when his black friend died. Okay. Let's act like that's a valuable point to make in this conversation about whether or not Jason's racist. Which, let me remind you, I don't think Jason's racist, but there was a layer of racism within that scene. Because if you have not seen lately in the news, it's been brought to people's attention over the past few years. It really was very much so brought to everyone's attention at the beginning of COVID, with Black Lives Matter movement and everything, that black people have been staring down the barrels of guns because they're black, getting racially profiled and having to endure a traffic stop, not knowing whether or not you're going to make it out alive. Me, as a black girl with a black dad, I have a brother, both black. I fear for them every day. I fear for myself every day because black women do also stare down the barrels of guns in the hands of policemen or the hands of people who hate crime, black people, and then it gets swept under the rug because you never see a member and a policeman in the same room together. It's a thing. And if the Duffer Brothers didn't think that through, that's very careless. If they didn't put that scene in there, have Lucas be the one right there staring down the barrel of Jason's gun, if they did that with no intention at all, with no type of subtext at all, it's not unprofessional, but it's very tasteless. It's very irresponsible because you just traumatized Lucas again. We all got trauma, but not all of them have black trauma. And that's what Lucas has. And that's what Erica had when dude tackled her. When basketball player dude, full grown white guy wanna tackle a girl who's not even in high school. She's in middle school. She probably just started middle school. He tackled her. He felt the need to tackle her. I'm glad she clocked him. I'm glad she clocked him because someone needed to sit him down, because you don't do that to anybody, period. But a child, it's the same thing with Billy all over again. Them feeling the need to physically assault a black child. Because they're trying to crack some case. Because you're angry. You want to break things. Shut up. I'm sorry. No, there's no defending Jason in this situation. There's no just shutting down the argument. No, he's not racist. You gotta acknowledge that there's that layer, that extra fear, that extra amount of fear that Lucas will feel, because he may not know if he's making it out of this alive, because him being a black kid. And if y'all want to think, oh yeah, decades, 80s, like racism was really happening, although it's still happening today. It's the 80s. Hawkins, Indiana. I heard that in Indiana in the 80s, racism was the yikers. It was doing his thing. His chances of surviving that is slim to none. Slim to none. He survived it, thank heavens. And like I said, and I might even play the TikTok clip, because there's a TikTok clip about it. This guy, he was explaining it, and not in there did he say Jason is racist, because Jason doesn't even have to be racist to already have those biases within him.
Alright, let's talk about this scene in Stranger Things Season 4 that's kind of genius to me. My mutual Kenna had a really great video about the scene where Lucas gets a gun pulled on him by a white boy. And even though John Walker here never says the N-word, you can pick up on the undertones that the Duffer Brothers are laying down. But what's so masterful about this scene is that putting Lucas over anybody else in this moment makes the stakes and the danger significantly higher. Like, if you put Steve or Dustin or Mike in this situation, the task is still very difficult to convince Jason. But Lucas has the added danger of being a black boy in the 80s in Indiana, and that adds another layer that you cannot get with the other characters. And even though Jason never utters the N-word, you can just tell that there's just an extra layer here. Since season 1, when it came to Will and his hidden sexuality, and in season 2, where Billy had an extra gear of hatred when it came to Lucas, the Duffer Brothers proved that they are masters of the unspoken and they don't have to spell out everything for its audience. We're not dumb. This is a unique challenge for Lucas that anyone could have been in, but it wouldn't have been half as satisfying.
We all have biases within us. On this planet, we all have biases. No matter what you look like, no matter what you do, we all have biases. And our job as human beings who want to be better is to unlearn them, is to acknowledge them when we see them, confront them, and unlearn it, and try to be better human beings. I know I'm oppressed in like 3 different realms. 3 different realms, 4 if you want to include not being completely able-bodied. I need glasses to see. But I got my own biases to unlearn. As a human in America, I got biases to unlearn. You still probably got biases to unlearn. And I am confronting it every day. Whenever I catch myself slipping, I confront it, I tackle it, and next day happens, and if there's more, I tackle it, confront it, try to become a better human in Jason. But in conclusion for Jason, there's no defending Jason. Like, even if we exclude the Lucas part with the subtext of racism, he beat up that one kid because he didn't know where Eddie was. He beat him up, trashed his drum set. We don't know if that kid's concussed right now. Yeah, it's him enforcing brutality on people because he feels just to, and he's not. So don't be like, oh, if my girlfriend's dead, I'm not beating up every single person I see. I'm not tackling children. I'm not putting guns in people's faces. He's not a good guy. He's not a good guy. He's a loser. He's a lame ass. He's a pussy. Hiding behind a gun. Hurting people weaker than you. Because you can't find the alleged murderer of your girlfriend. No, he's not cool. Not defendable at all. Thank you. Okay, now on to the final one, Vecna. I'm not going to spend much time on him because the thing is with Vecna, in every season of Stranger Things, there are two bads. There's a bad and then there's a big bad. Season 1, the bad was Steve Harrington. And then the big bad was the Demogorgon. Season 2, the bad, Billy. And then the big bad, multiple Demogorgons. Season 3. I feel like there was multiple little bads. No, the bad was that guy who was the Terminator. He's the bad for Hopper and Joyce. And kind of the Flayed, but the Mind Flayer, that was the big bad. I was about to call him. Honestly, men be the villains, don't they? And then season 4, little bad. Was there a little bad? Maybe, no. It was the government official who was trying to track down Elle. He's the little bad. Then there's the big bad, which was Vecna. Now Vecna, I don't know if the praise for Vecna is a joke. I don't know if it's a joke, but it just doesn't sit right with me that these people are like, oh yeah, Vecna. While simultaneously people are putting down Argyle and 8 from season 2. It looks weird that all these white characters, sorry to bring race into it, but we have these characters, these white characters who were obviously bad. Oh yeah, and Jason, he was the little bad. That's what he was, the little bad. There was 2 little bads. It was the government guy and Jason. He was the little bad of this past season. It's just the thing. Final point I gotta make. Because it's not me. People uplifting, praising Billy, saying, we miss Billy. Oh, I understand Jason. Vecna, he's a hottie. People being like this, while being like, 8, I really didn't like 8's character. When these people are like actual villains. Like, yeah, she's catching bodies. She's trying to kill the people who wronged her, everyone who was a part of the trauma that she had in her childhood. But you don't understand her. We don't know all of 8's story. Other crazy stuff could have happened to her. We know that she was in the same spot as Elle. We saw how Elle was getting bullied. Like, that experience was obviously traumatizing. She has that trauma, and there could have been other stuff added to that trauma. We don't know her story completely. We just know where she is now, which is with this gang of people. Oh, what was that guy's name? I don't remember his name, but he had a little brain. What's up, Big Tiny? I don't know.
Sunshine, a warrior. Don't let his size frighten you. Fancy teddy bear.
Nice to meet you, Miss Jane.
Like, she's with this gang of people who rob stores and kill people who have wronged them. It's giving anti-hero, because these are the bad guys. But, like, these people are full-on villains. These people live to wreak havoc. Vecna is living to wreak havoc, and you're calling him a hottie batati while y'all are not calling Callie 8 a hottie batati. But anyway, that's my defense on 8. Why don't y'all understand her? There was a little inkling of character development with her in that end. It looked like she was like, oh man, I probably want to travel. Maybe maybe I'm doing things wrong. That's why I'm glad, because I know in season 5 they're going to bring her back. She needs to be brought back. When they bring back 8, I'm going to be here for it. Thank you. 8, pretty girl 8. Thank you. Come here. And also cool girl 8. Her power is cool. It's very cool. It's the shine. Like, she can't levitado things, but she can make people see what they aren't really seeing, and that could help in defeating Vecna. It could. Or whatever little bad, and big bad they gotta deal with next season. That could be helpful. So, y'all need to get off my girl Callie's back when y'all over here like, oh, Vecna, Billy, I get you Jason. Alright? Now, Argyle. If it wasn't for his hightail, they would not have found Elle in time. Max would have probably already been in the casket by the time they got there. So, yeah, thank you, Argyle. Thank you, Argyle, for helping us find Elle. Thank you for driving us away from the bad men, trying to shoot us up. Although it took you time. Honey, it's fine. He's high. He's high. He's got to catch up. All right? So, thank you. Thank you, boo. He works his best when he's on the barnyard, alright? And he's so considerate. He was trying to make a headstone. A tomb. For police guy, government official guy trying to help. He's trying to make a tomb for him. That's a sweetie pie. And y'all dissing him for what? Because he's not white and conventionally attractive? Is that why? Because that's what y'all have me thinking. Because, like, it's like Billy is conventionally attractive and y'all go to hell and back to defend him. Vecna is not. One, in his one form, they're like, He literally manipulated Elle. He literally manipulated Elle to get what he wanted because he knew that she was a great weapon. He knew that she would be a great asset. He manipulated her. Almost as bad as Dr. Brenner for me. So while y'all over there going to hell and back for these racists, these abusers, these bullies, these sadists, these villains, these vile people, I'ma be over here crushing on Cali, smoking the bomb with Argyle, because this is the cooler side. Thank you. They wouldn't respect you over there. I'm sorry. Put them in 2 different rooms. Which room are you picking? No, it's really silly. You look silly. You look silly. I'm not having a fun time with Jason. I'm not having a fun time with Billy the racist. He's gonna call me coon. I'm not having a fun time with Vecna because he's just gonna get in my face, blow his Vecna breath in my face, tell me how he's gonna end the world, and then before I can even pull out the rag soundtrack, he's gonna me, and I can't have that. I'm gonna go over here. I'm gonna smoke some bomb. I'm gonna see pretty things. I'm gonna see pretty butterflies with Callie. Alright? So that's all I have to say. I feel bad for all of you who are living in La La Land. I feel bad about all you who can't read into subtext, who can't see it. Apparently you are sight impaired when it comes to subtext, and you are terrible at reading people and reading a room. So yeah, I'm gonna be over here with my POC. You can be over there with your white people who do not respect you. Bye, have a beautiful time. Oh, this is good. Girl. Ciao.